Hello everyone, you're welcome to Akoko Africa Radio UK, and this is Health Talk with Atswei. For the first time we are on time today. And today we have Dr. Winfred Baah. We are so privileged to have him come on today to talk about asthma. I hope you are ready with your questions, and you'll be with us till the end. It's not going to take long, it's just an hour. We won't take your time. So before we start, let's have a message from our sponsors, and then we come back and just kick on now. Thank you.
Hey there, fabulous folks. Are you ready to take your locks to new heights of beauty and vitality? Then listen up, because Tiny Hands Locks is here to make your hair dreams a reality. Located at the heart of natural beauty, Tiny Hands Locks isn't just a salon, it's a sanctuary where your locks are pampered and celebrated. Now, let's talk about our top-notch hair care services and products. At Tiny Hands Locks, we believe in the power of nature's bounty to nurture and revitalize your locks. At Tiny Hands Locks, we are dedicated to crafting bespoke lock styles that enhance your natural beauty and reflect your unique personality. From starter locks to locks maintenance, we've got you covered every step of the way. And when it comes to products, we've curated a range of natural wonders that are sure to leave your hair feeling pampered and rejuvenated. From clarifying shampoos to revitalizing conditioners, each product is meticulously formulated with nature's finest ingredients to cleanse, nourish, and protect your locks. But wait, there's more. Visit our website at www.tinyhandslocks.co.uk to explore our full range of services and products. Located at 24 Swan Close, Feltham, TW13 6PA. Just give us a call at 0783 298 9531 and we'll take care of the rest. So what are you waiting for? Treat yourself to the luxury and care you deserve with Tiny Hands Locks. Because at Tiny Hands Locks, we're not just about hair, we're about empowering you to embrace your natural beauty and shine from within. Discover the magic of Tiny Hands Locks today. Hey there, fabulous folks. Are you?
When it comes to balloons and balloons decoration for your baby Christian, for your ceiling floral, You Smile is the place to be. For your wedding setup, your beautiful wedding setup, backdrops, and everything when it comes to planning, coordinating, and delivery, You Smile is the best. For your indoor programs, for executive programs, for corporate events, You Smile is a place to be. Call on us and we shall give you the best of services. Our telephone numbers are 0242571571 and also 0243639381. Our social media handles are IG You Smile Events, on Facebook You Smile Events, and also on TikTok You Smile Events. Come and let's do business, and you never regret it. You Smile. Satisfaction is our hallmark. We'll make sure we deliver, and our delivery is always on point.
Hello guys, welcome back. So this is Akoko Africa Radio UK, and this is Health Talk with Atswei. Like I said earlier, today we have Dr. Winfred Baah here to talk about asthma. And I'm going to invite Doctor over and then we start. Hello, Dr. Baah.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. How are you?
I'm good. How are you too?
I'm good, thank you. You are welcome to Akoko Africa Radio UK.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
And my regards to our listeners.
Thank you. They are listening to you. We would like you to introduce yourself to them so they know what you do, and then we start.
All right, thank you. So my name is Dr. Winfred Korletey Baah. I am a consultant physician. I work at the Korletey Teaching Hospital in Accra, Ghana, the Department of Medicine.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm also involved in a lot of health education. I have an NGO that does that, and I'm always happy to educate people. I must also say that I worked in the UK briefly for some time at the Guys at St. Thomas's Hospital.
Oh.
Yes, before I returned to Ghana.
All right. Okay. So you are a UK guy.
Yes, a bit of that.
Okay. All right. Thanks so much for that, and thank you for coming on our show today.
Thank you.
So you've decided to talk to us today about asthma.
Yes.
Okay.
So today,
Dr. Baah, we're having a bit of technical issue there. Can you give us a few minutes and then we'll come back to it?
okay, all right.
Hey there, fabulous folks. Are you ready to take your locks to new heights of beauty and vitality? Then listen up, because Tiny Hands Locks is here to make your hair dreams a reality. Located at the heart of natural beauty, Tiny Hands Locks isn't just a salon, it's a sanctuary where your locks are pampered and celebrated. Now, let's talk about our top-notch hair care services and products. At Tiny Hands Locks, we believe in the power of nature's bounty to nurture and revitalize your locks. At Tiny Hands Locks, we are dedicated to crafting bespoke lock styles that enhance your natural beauty and reflect your unique personality. From starter locks to locks maintenance, we've got you covered every step of the way. And when it comes to products, we've curated a range of natural wonders that are sure to leave your hair feeling pampered and rejuvenated. From clarifying shampoos to revitalizing conditioners, each product is meticulously formulated with nature's finest ingredients to cleanse, nourish, and protect your locks.
Can you hear me?
But wait, there's more. Visit our website at www.tinyhandslocks.com.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Full range of
Yes.
services.
Okay. Hello, we are sorry. We were having a bit of technical issue, but everything looks okay now. Thanks for your patience. So before we left, Dr. Baah was about to tell us about asthma, what it is in the layman's understanding.
Thank you very much. Thank you. To share with our listeners, and you did a great job to our people. So we are taking an issue, like I said, issue. And I just want to make emphasis this year. We go into the group. So in the medical fraternity, we have two different types of asthma, things we see asthma. There's what we call the bronchial asthma and the cardiac asthma. There's another form that is not well known, but it's also known. So we call it cardiac asthma. That one has to do with the heart. So the one we are talking about today is what we call the bronchial asthma.
Okay.
So just listeners to the way that we are talking about bronchial asthma. And that is the common asthma everybody knows about. This is usually what we call the respiratory conditions. We are talking about the lungs and the throat. And with this kind of asthma, one of the things is that your airway is where you breathe from.
Oh, it looks like we lost him. Yeah, his line is breaking. We are sorry. I think our connection is very bad today.
Yes. So, I think my connection went off a bit.
Yes. Okay.
Yes. Please, can you see me?
Yeah,
Can you hear me?
we can hear and see you.
All right. So, like I was.
Wow. Today we've lost Dr. Baah again.
Hello, can you hear me?
Hello, we can hear you.
Apology, the network.
I know.
Like I was saying, when we breathe, we have what we call the respiratory tract. So your breathing starts from the nose. So you start breathing from the nose, then it gets down to the windpipe here, which we call the trachea.
Okay.
But from there, it goes through like some branches, some pipes into the lungs. So the lungs are in your chest. Okay? So where you breathe from. Now, in what we call the asthma we are talking about, the bronchial asthma, there are certain things that happen that will get your airways narrowed. So those tubes, the windpipes and the smaller ones, they get smaller. So then the person has difficulty in breathing.
Breathing, okay.
Yes, so now you are trying to breathe and then it's like you have difficulty. And that is what we call asthma. This kind of thing is usually on and off.
Okay.
So it is reversible. So we said that there are three main things that happen in bronchial asthma. We said there is inflammation. Inflammation is, usually in the layman's, it's like maybe there's some soreness in the lining of the airway.
Okay.
Then we said the airway also becomes hyper-reactive or hypersensitive. So maybe if you don't have asthma, maybe if you inhale dust, the worst you do is to just cough a bit.
Okay.
But for those people, that thing will trigger a reaction. Their airways are hypersensitive.
Sensitive.
So
Okay.
it begins to react even more forcefully, and then will start to contract. So it narrows the airway. Okay.
Okay.
And then what we call the bronchoconstriction. So these three things happen in asthma. So you see that those who have asthma, when the episodes come, you can see they cannot breathe well. They have difficulty breathing, and then they may be wheezing. Wheezing is that sound, like when you are breathing out, shoo, shoo, it's like a musical sound that comes. And it's all because the airways are constricted or they are narrowed.
Okay.
So they are forcing to get the air out.
All right.
Now, so for the airways to get constricted, you need what we call the precipitants or the allergens. So you can see people who have asthma, most of them have allergies. And the allergies could be it can be different for a lot of people. Some of them could be dust. It could also be pollen. You know pollen, when flowers come. Yes, so you see that during spring and this is when flowers are coming up, you have a lot of pollen, and so people get asthma attacks.
Okay.
Then sometimes it could be cold weather. So when the weather is very cold, people with asthma can have an exacerbation.
Okay. So would you say like we get hay fever here? So we get hay fever, like people who suffer asthma are prone to get hay fever more frequent than...
Exactly.
Okay.
Yes, because people who have asthma actually is a spectrum. Some just start with allergies and they don't progress, but some of them will also progress to asthma. So those who have hay fever, some of them could, those who are at more risk of having hay fever, some of them can progress to having asthma.
Okay.
And so cold weather is part of it. And then viral infections. So those who have a lot of the flu viruses. So you can see those who have asthma, when it's time for the flu season, those people get more attacks.
Okay.
Because the viral infection can stimulate or can precipitate the acute asthma episode.
Okay.
And so if you look at when they are giving jabs, the flu jabs, we give it to people at risk. One of the people we consider are those who have asthma.
Okay. All right. Thank
Because
you.
we know that getting repeated infections can precipitate the asthma.
Okay.
Okay. For some people, it is extreme stress. So for those who have asthma, maybe when they are very stressed, it can bring the asthma attack on.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. So what would you say are some of the signs and symptoms of asthma?
Very good. So for those who have asthma, so when they have symptoms, they may have, like I said, difficulty in breathing. So you see that you cannot breathe very well. For some of them, it could also be cough. So they will be coughing continuously, especially maybe at dawn. For those, if it's due to cold weather, you could see that maybe they cough more at dawn
Okay.
when the weather is cold. So it could be just cough. For some of them, it could be wheezing. So, like I said, that sound when you are breathing out, that musical sound, it could be that. For some people, they may have what we call chest tightness. They just feel that their chest is tight. There's something tightening their chest. For some people, that. And a few people can have pain in the chest, what we call chest pain. Yeah, so these are some of the symptoms.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. I know you said earlier about dust and like the pollens and the rest. What other things triggers asthma?
Yes. So, like I said, apart from the things I've mentioned, we could also have strong perfume. So there are some people when they smell the scent of strong perfume can trigger the asthma attack. So for those people, we tell them they don't use perfumes at all, or they don't use those that have strong scents, those that can irritate their airways. For some people, it could be smoke. So when they smoke, they get an attack. When they inhale smoke, they get an attack. And the smoke can be dangerous or second. So maybe you are in an office and somebody is smoking. Just that alone can precipitate the asthma for the person. So these are some of the other things that can also precipitate the asthma.
Okay. All right. So guys, you heard so far what is asthma, how the attack comes and what triggers it, and how you can avoid having attacks or a trigger when you know you have asthma. Dr. Baah, how do you test for somebody who has asthma? How would you know that this person has got asthma?
All right, thank you very much. So if first we have the suspicion, so let's say, and let me say that it is common more in children.
Okay.
There's a few people who grow out of it when they become adults. But it could also occur in adulthood. So maybe some people will experience it for the first time as adults. And most people experience it from childhood.
Okay.
Okay. And so first, we talk about the clinical symptoms and then the signs. So let's say you have a child, then the least, let's say you find out that when the weather is cold, that this child says, I can't breathe very well. Or with a strong perfume scent, this child cannot breathe well. Then you have to suspect, could they be having asthma? Or weather is cold, you can't breathe well. Usually it's on and off. Then you suspect. Or they have some of the symptoms I talked about, they'll be wheezing, have chest tightness, or cough. So when you suspect, the doctor will examine the patient. Usually during the acute episode, when you listen to the chest, you have something we call the wrong type or quiz. Here it is. That could also support your diagnosis. Then we do a test called spirometry. This is the test that can confirm the clinical suspicion. So this spirometry is a machine. You go and blow air into it. It will analyze your lung volumes. So we have something we call the broncho that we use what we call the salbutamol. So they will give you, so they will let you blow into the machine, and after you blow into the machine, they will give you an inhaler with what we call salbutamol. That inhaler is supposed to open your airways, to dilate the airways, and so you inhale before you use the inhaler. You do the spirometry, and then afterwards you do it again, and then we see. What we are looking for is what we call the obstructive picture, and usually those ones will get better when you use the inhaler, the salbutamol. So it gets better. There is a good effect of the salbutamol. So you have a bronchodilator effect.
Okay.
Then you can confirm that the person has asthma. So also what we call the stress spirometry, which you can do to also confirm the asthma.
All right.
The other test that you can do, we can also do a chest X-ray of your chest. Although most may be normal, there is something we call hyperinflation. You can see that for those people who have asthma, the lung view, when you do the X-ray, it will look in the layman's, I say longer, a bit longer than somebody who doesn't have asthma.
All right.
And when we do it, there are also other complications we are looking for. Sometimes they can have air trapped in the pleural space, what we call the pneumothorax. You are looking for those ones, especially for somebody who has severe asthma attack. Then there's something we call arterial blood tests that will tell you the amount of oxygen in the blood and the carbon dioxide. That can also help support the diagnosis.
Wow. Okay, so let me ask this. Someone goes for a test because they suspect that she's got asthma. They said she doesn't have asthma, but she has the tendency of getting asthma. Can it generate into asthma, or what happens with that?
Yes. So like I said, the asthma is part of the allergy spectrum. So, and let me say that it runs in families.
Is it genetic?
So if you have, it runs in families.
Okay.
So if you have a family member with asthma, there's a high likelihood that maybe your children or your siblings can also have it.
Okay.
Now, so this spectrum it starts from just having allergies, all the way to asthma. Yes, so you can do a test and they'll tell you have the tendency of having asthma. It is true, and it can generate into full-blown asthma. So for some people in the family, for some of them, all they have is allergies. So they only have allergies to maybe dust or something. They get a lot of catarrh. So the slightest thing get catarrh. They get the flu. The slightest thing they get the catarrh, or they cough. For those people, we don't say they have asthma. For some, we say they have the cough variant asthma. But for some, it can progress to full-blown asthma.
Wow, okay. Thank you very much for that explanation. Thank you. So what are the goals of asthma management?
Thank you very much. So when it comes to asthma management, there are three main things we look out for. Number one is prevention of the attacks.
Okay.
As much as possible. In fact, that is the most important thing. Doing things to prevent the attack. Then secondly, we have what we call the reliever medications. So when you get the acute attack, we have medicines we can give you to relieve the attack. And then secondarily, the third thing is what we call the controller medications, to make sure that we control the asthma so that you don't get attacks or frequent attacks. So let me take the first one, prevention of asthma attacks. It is very important. Once you know you have asthma or you have the tendency to get asthma, you need to identify the allergen or the trigger.
Okay.
So and then try and avoid it as much as possible. I know for some of them we will not be able to avoid them, but as much as possible, the first and the most important thing is to try and identify the trigger. So for example, if for you the trigger is strong scents or perfume, then as much as possible you need to try and avoid it.
Okay.
I'm sure somebody will ask, what about if I'm in the office with someone and the person always comes with a very loud perfume? What do I? Yes, it's a difficult situation, but you may need to try and explain to them that I have this condition. I will be glad if you can maybe use a perfume that is not too loud. It will help me.
Okay.
If yours is dust, then you will try as much as possible to avoid dusty places. But like I said, sometimes you cannot, especially if you are in Africa. So you can use a mask, a nose mask. You can have a nose mask on you. Anytime you get to a place that is dusty, then you put on the nose mask so that you avoid inhaling the dust that can lead you to triggers. So prevention is very important. If it's about cold weather, then during the winter, you need to try and make sure you put on protective clothing so that you are always protected. So
Okay.
prevention is very important. The next thing is what we call the reliever medications. So once you get an acute asthma, you usually visit the A&E. When you go there, they are going to do what we call nebulization for you. So they'll put something on your nose, like blowing air. But usually we put some medications in it. There are different medications we can put in, like salbutamol, ipratropium. These are supposed to, you inhale them into the lungs to open the airway so that you can breathe well. So they will do those things for you. As they do that, like I said, there is also what we call inflammation. So we give you anti-inflammatory drugs like steroids, like prednisolone.
Okay.
Those ones help relieve the inflammation. And then if we treat the underlying cause, so if your asthma attack was triggered by, let's say, what we call an upper respiratory tract infection, let's say you had a flu or some bacterial chest infection, that's what brought it on. Then we treat it, and then you are fine.
Okay.
Then after the acute episode, we put you on what we call the controller medication. So these are inhalers that you have to use every day, morning and evening, to make sure that you reduce the frequency of attacks or prevent further attacks.
Okay. All right. So what medications? I know you mentioned salbutamol. Are there any other things you use to manage asthma?
Yes, so there are a lot of medications, and sometimes for the safety of the public, you don't want to really mention all of them.
So that they don't go to the pharmacy to be buying it.
So I mentioned a few, but like I said, for the rest, the most important, if you have asthma, you must always go to your GP or your primary doctor. They are going to tell you what to do, and they will give you these medications, show you how to use them, and then you will be fine.
Okay, all right. So guys, when you have a suspicion that you have some of these symptoms, you need to go to the hospital. I know in Africa we are able to buy all medications over the counter. Over here you can't get even the salbutamol, nothing. You have to see a doctor. But in Ghana and other African countries, you need to go and see a doctor so that you could have the right treatment and right management. If asthma is managed well, you can go a long time without getting any triggers. Okay, so Dr. Baah, how is the severity of asthma determined?
Very good. Thank you very much. So the severity of asthma, we combine the symptoms that you are getting and the frequency at which you get the symptoms. Then we also look at the signs. So when we examined you, what did we find? Is your pulse too high? Is it more than 120? Is your blood pressure low? Is the systolic less than 90?
Okay.
When we listen to your chest, is it silent? What we call silent chest. Are there signs that you have some severe chest infections? Are there signs that you have some pneumothorax? And then when we do the spirometry or the bedside airflow, how severe it is. So we combine.
We're losing him again. I think we are losing Dr. Baah. Let's see if we can get him back online.
Hello.
Hello. So we have Dr. Baah back.
Apologies. Yes.
We understand.
So, yes, so we were on the severity. Like I said, we put the symptoms, the signs, and then the spirometry or the airflow readings. We put it together, then we can say this asthma is mild, is moderate, is severe, or life-threatening.
Okay.
When it's severe and life-threatening, it means that if we don't act quickly, we can lose that patient. So those patients, we manage them in the intensive care unit.
Okay.
Once you have severe asthma or life-threatening asthma, you will have to be managed in the intensive care unit.
All right. So when you say life-threatening, does it mean like someone can die out of that?
Exactly. So when we say asthma is life-threatening, it means that if we don't act quickly, we can lose that patient. So most of the time, those patients, we get them to ICU, you have to intubate them, put them on a ventilator, make sure that we reverse the airway obstruction before we get the ventilator, get them off the ventilator.
Okay. All right. Thank you. You are still listening to Akoko Africa Radio UK, and this is Health Talk with Na Atswei. Time check is 4:40. We have 20 minutes to go, and we still have Dr. Baah here. Dr. Baah, can you explain to us the meaning of NSAID-induced asthma?
Sorry?
NSAID-induced asthma.
Oh, NSAID.
Yes.
NSAID. So when you say NSAID, we are talking about non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs.
Okay.
It's an abbreviation for non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs. These are drugs like Brufen, the Naclofen, Celebrex, all those ones, we call them. So for those who have asthma, some of these drugs can also precipitate the asthma.
Okay.
So we usually advise those who have asthma not to take those medications. So you can see most of the time when you go to hospital, they will prescribe a painkiller for you. Doctor will ask you, your GP will ask you, do you have asthma? Usually, for those who have asthma, we want them to avoid those medications, the ones we call the NSAIDs.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you very much for that. So, which conditions can be mistaken for asthma?
Yes, a very important question. So there are a lot of conditions that can be mistaken for asthma. For example, I mentioned from the beginning that there are some two kinds of asthma. So the cardiac asthma is the same as what we call the heart failure. So if somebody has heart failure, they may have, especially the one we call the left heart failure, they may have symptoms very similar to asthma. Difficulty in breathing, and they can even have the wheeze that I talked about. So when you hear that, you might think that this person has asthma, but they don't have the bronchial asthma, they don't have that one. If somebody has just a severe allergies, sometimes could with people who have a lot of catarrh or nasal congestion, they usually also have some symptoms of that. Then some forms of poisoning that will cause respiratory embarrassment, they may also be mistaken for asthma. And then some respiratory tract infections could also be. Sometimes people can have what we call the reflux, gastroesophageal reflux. That may cause some chest pain, sometimes difficulty in breathing. Sometimes people could also mistaken some of that for asthma. Yes, so and then there's something we call the obstructive sleep apnea, where some people, especially people who are very obese, short neck, they usually cannot breathe very well. Sometimes people could also mistaken some of that for asthma.
Oh, okay. I was going to ask you, does weight affect asthma as well?
Well, not directly. Not directly, but like I said, assuming you have asthma and then you also, if you are obese, well, obese people may have some reduction in some of the lung volume parameters.
Okay.
So in that, yes, it may have some impact on the asthma.
All right. Okay. Thank you very much. So, what are the negative outcome of poorly controlled asthma?
Yes. So, negative, poorly controlled asthma can have a lot of effects. These effects can be medical, it can be psychological, it can be emotional. Okay. Now, what are the psychological effects? If your asthma is not controlled, it means that you get frequent attacks. Now, if you get, anytime you have an attack, they have to rush you to the hospital. Then you have to be admitted, maybe admitted a day or two. You come home, maybe the next week you have to go again. You may get depressed. You may get worried. it can also deplete your finances, especially if you are not on insurance. It can deplete your finances. It also gives you a poor quality of life, because every time you are not well, you cannot breathe well, you are having chest pain, you are coughing, and if your asthma is not controlled, you cannot even do strenuous exercises.
Okay.
In fact, that's one of the things you get to know. Then you know that it looks like the asthma is not controlled. Maybe just walking a few distances, you get tired. If you have asthma, you walk small distance, or you even talk for short sentences, and then you get tired. Then your asthma is not controlled. So if the asthma is not controlled, it can even affect your activity, your daily activity. You cannot do strenuous activity. You cannot even bath. You cannot. You bath. You are bathing. You get tired. You are doing cooking. You are tired. Taking care of the children. You are tired. So it affects a lot of things. Emotionally, it will drain you. Like I said, because you are in hospital. Financially, it can drain you. But when asthma is not well controlled, it has a lot of negative effects.
Okay. Let me ask you this: consumption of alcohol, does it affect? Is it one of the triggers? Does it trigger asthma or not?
Okay, so alcohol, we know, can have a lot of effects. Contributes to some of the underlying things that could cause asthma. That's the inflammation and the rest. Although people say it's not directly involved, we all know that taking alcohol has a lot of effects, including the endothelium, which can also lead to some inflammation. So because of that, we also advise those who have asthma, try and avoid alcohol. Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much. So I want to check, what is the reversibility test, and can asthma be reversed?
Yes. So usually asthma is reversible.
Okay.
Like we said, it is an airway bronchoconstriction, the airway narrowing, that is usually reversible. So asthma is reversible.
Okay.
And the reversibility test is all what I talked about. When you have your, like I said, you go and do your spirometry. Then after that, they give you the inhaler. They make you inhale the salbutamol and see whether the constriction, the effect of which you see on the graph, whether it's reversed or not.
Okay. Thank you very much, Dr. Baah. Is there anything else you would like to add to what we've said so far before we go and check for questions from our listeners?
Yes. So like I said, if you have asthma, it's very important that one, you try and prevent the triggers. Try and avoid the triggers as much as possible. Make sure that you see your GP. They have things they will do for you. There are antihistamines and other things they can give to you, even when it gets to the hay fever season, so that you are not too much at risk of getting an attack. There are controller medications we can put you on to make sure that you don't get attacked. So you can live healthy and well with asthma, and the asthma can be controlled.
Okay. Thank you so much. We'll take a message from our sponsors, and then we'll check if we have any questions from our listeners, and then we talk about that and bring the program to an end.
Hey there, fabulous folks. Are you ready to take your locks to new heights of beauty and vitality? Then listen up, because Tiny Hands Locks is here to make your hair dreams a reality. Located at the heart of natural beauty, Tiny Hands Locks isn't just a salon, it's a sanctuary where your locks are pampered and celebrated. Now, let's talk about our top-notch hair care services and products. At Tiny Hands Locks, we believe in the power of nature's bounty to nurture and revitalize your locks. At Tiny Tiny Hands Locks, we are dedicated to crafting bespoke lock styles that enhance your natural beauty and reflect your unique personality. From starter locks to lock maintenance, we've got you covered every step of the way. And when it comes to products, we've curated a range of natural wonders that are sure to leave your hair feeling pampered and rejuvenated. From clarifying shampoos to revitalizing conditioners, each product is meticulously formulated with nature's finest ingredients to cleanse, nourish, and protect your locks. But wait, there's more. Visit our website at www.tinyhandslocks.co.uk to explore our full range of services and products. Located at 24 Swan Close, Feltham, TW13 6PA. Just give us a call at 0783 298 9531 and we'll take care of the rest. So what are you waiting for? Treat yourself to the luxury and care you deserve with Tiny Hands Locks.
When it comes to balloons and balloons decoration for your baby Christian, for your ceiling floral, You Smile is the place to be. For your wedding setup, your beautiful wedding setup, backdrops, and everything when it comes to planning, coordinating, and delivery, You Smile is the best. For your indoor when it comes to balloons and balloons decoration for your baby Christian, for your ceiling floral,
Hello, we are back. You're still listening to Akoko Africa Radio UK. We'll be talking about asthma today with Dr. Winfred Baah. We have a few questions on our website, Dr. Baah, for you.
Okay.
Somebody is asking, is there any asthma type that cannot be cured?
Okay. So, like I said, asthma usually is managed and is largely reversible. So when he says cured, I don't know whether he's trying to say that, is it that it will go forever and not come? Once you have asthma, you can be controlled for years and it will not come again. But once you have asthma, it is known that you have asthma, so any severe trigger can bring it on. So, like I said, some people get it during their childhood, and maybe after their teenage years, they don't experience anything again until maybe around 60 years or something. Or maybe they get some severe trigger and then it comes.
Okay.
So it can be managed, it can be controlled,
but not cured.
There are people who also grow out of it, and they probably don't feel anything again.
Okay, because I know someone who had asthma once when they were like a child, and after that they've never had asthma up till now.
Yes, so it's possible.
Okay. And the next question is, what happens if you stop manage daily control of condition? I know you've talked about that. I think what happens when you are not managing it properly, yeah.
Yeah, so like we said, if you don't manage it properly, your quality of life will be impaired. You end up visiting the A&E very frequently. It's going to disrupt. If you are schooling, it will disrupt your school schedules. If you are working, it will disrupt your work. And so it is in your best interest to make sure that it is well controlled.
Okay. Okay. Our next question is from Macy. She's asking, when should one be aware they must go to emergency?
Okay. So most of the time, if it's starting, you will know. So because of that, there is another inhaler, the Ventolin or the salbutamol inhaler. We usually give it to the patients. So anytime you feel that maybe it's as if your breathing is trying to be difficult, or your chest is getting tight, or you start coughing, you can use your Ventolin inhaler or your salbutamol inhaler, and then you rush to the hospital.
Okay.
There are some people, once they So you don't wait for it to be full blown. Once you start seeing the early signs, you use your inhaler. For most people, it will stop. It will reverse. May not need to go to the A&E, but usually it will be good to go to A&E or your GP just to tell you that you are fine.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. We have another question. It says, can one perform very well at sports activity being diagnosed with asthma?
Yes, if the asthma is well controlled, then you could. But like I said, because it has to do with the lungs and breathing, and sports, you do a lot of activity, you need to be breathing much. If the asthma is not well controlled, you may even make it worse. Because like I said, excessive stress can also make it worse. So depending on the type of asthma and how well it's controlled, there are certain sports will not prescribe for you.
Okay.
For example, if you have asthma that is not very well controlled, we can't tell you to be doing long distance running, athletics. No.
Okay. All right. We have another question here. I know some of them came in late, so they may not have listened to some of the things. So what is the likelihood of having an attack, doctor?
The likelihood of having an attack, it depends on how well the asthma is controlled. Like I said, there are people who can go like 3 years, 4 years, 5 years without an attack. It also depends on how well you prevent or avoid the triggers. So that is what determines it.
Okay. And last question. It says, in what situation breathing becomes very difficult?
In what situation?
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't get that
So
question.
in what situation breathing becomes very difficult?
Okay, so maybe trying to say that what should he do if the breathing becomes difficult?
Yeah.
I think that, like I said, you use your inhaler and rush to the A&E.
Okay.
For A&E, once you go and say you have asthma, your triaging is different. You don't wait in the queue. Immediately they will start to attend to you. People with asthma, they are triaged and they start working on them. You don't have to be in the queue. So immediately you see your breathing is not well, just rush to the hospital.
Okay. And how about with sleeping difficulties? Does it affect you with your sleeping?
Sure, because if the asthma is not controlled, you cannot breathe well. You are sleeping, you wake up intermittently because your breathing becomes difficult and becomes labored. So yes, it can affect your sleeping.
Okay. All right. That was our last question. So, would you like to say anything else before we bring the show to an end, Doctor?
So I want to thank all our listeners for making the time to listen to us. Like I said, asthma runs in families. So if you have a family member who has asthma, you also need to really check yourself well. Make sure you prevent the allergens. If you have asthma, try and prevent attacks by avoiding the allergens or the triggers. And if you get an attack, make sure that you go to the A&E as soon as possible. Take your controller medication so that you don't get frequent attacks. And you can live a very healthy life and for as long as God wants you to live. So thank you very much, and let's take good care of ourselves.
All right. Yes, listeners, you heard it from the doctor. We want to thank you so much for coming on the show. And they are asking, when next are you coming back and what are you coming to talk about, Doctor?
I will be coming back again very soon. I'm sure Naache will bring me on soon. So I'm available.
Okay, Doctor. We'll liaise that and then we'll let the listeners know what you are bringing on again. And thanks so much for coming when we ask you. We would like to take this opportunity to wish you a happy weekend. Until we see you again, have a nice day, and bye from all of us here, Doctor. Bye for now.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. Okay, so that was Dr. Winfred Baah, and he spoke to us today about asthma. I hope you've learned something today. Our aim here at Akoko is just to educate and our aim here is to educate and advise. We don't know it all, that's why we bring in the experts. Please, if you are not able to listen to us today, the program is on YouTube and it will be on Facebook. You can always go back and listen to it. Let's all take care of ourselves. He's told us about asthma, the symptoms, what triggers it, the medications, and how to manage it. And from what is said, if we are able to manage it well, we can live a fulfilled life. So I hope you've taken something out of this. If there is any other issues you want us to talk about, you can always send us a message or give us a call, and we will be happy to do it. Tomorrow, there will be no show tomorrow. And hopefully next week, there will be Shepherd's Hour with AC, and probably DJ Kobe will come back. And if there is any show next week on Health Talk, we'll let you know.
How about Law Bites?
And Law Bites will be coming back soon. Don't worry, Law Bites is coming back soon. Okay, before I leave you, I just want to talk about some things in our lives. It's always about positivity. It says happiness is letting go of what you think your life is supposed to look like and celebrating it for everything that it is. Sometimes we have these plans in our lives, like where you come to UK, you want your life to be like this. You have everything planned, but it doesn't go that way. And it gets us sad, bitter sometimes. But trust me, if you hold on to that, you will not be happy. When you forget about it, you let go of what you think your life should have been and start focusing on how your life is and be happy with what you are now, you will be happy, trust me. And so long as you have life, no matter what you have lost, you can achieve it again, or maybe even better. So let's let go of the past, all the bitterness, all the sadness, all the disappointments. Let it go, and I promise you, you are going to be very happy. Let's focus on the little things that is going positive in our lives, and whenever you are positive, it attracts positive energy around you. Thank you so much. I would like to thank my producer DJ Kobe for his help today, because without him this show wouldn't have come on, and Glennis Kobe for the script writing. She is so good. She does all my script writing for me. And until we see you again, have a nice day and be positive. Have a blessed weekend, and bye from us at Akoko. Bye for now.